I came home from a weekend work trip and found that my roommate, Jenna, had moved all of my furniture into the smaller guest room without even sending me a text. I stood in the doorway of what used to be my master bedroom and saw her new boyfriend's clothes hanging in my closet while my bed was squeezed into a cramped space by the laundry room. We had shared this apartment for 3 years as equal partners, but she had decided that her new relationship was worth more than our legal agreement or our friendship. The shock of seeing my personal belongings handled by a stranger made my skin crawl, and the lack of communication felt like a deliberate attempt to force me into a corner. I felt a cold, sharp sting of displacement as I realized that the home I paid half for was no longer a safe space for me. Jenna had always been a bit impulsive when it came to men, but she had never crossed a boundary this significant before. We had a lease that clearly defined our spaces, and I had been the one who paid the extra security deposit to secure the larger room because I worked from home. By moving my things while I was out of the state, she was betting that I would be too polite or too tired to fight back once the change was already made. I realized that she wasn't just being inconsiderate. She was trying to establish a new hierarchy in the house where she made the rules, and I simply followed them. My fingers were trembling as I pulled my phone out to see if I had missed any calls, but the screen was empty of any explanation. "What gave you the right to touch my things and move me out of my own room while I was gone?" I asked, finding Jenna in the kitchen as she casually made a pot of coffee. She looked at me with a fake breezy smile and told me that she figured I wouldn't mind since I'm rarely home and her boyfriend needed the extra space for his home office. She actually had the nerve to say that she was doing me a favor because the smaller room was quieter for sleeping. I felt a surge of adrenaline that made my vision sharpen, a realization that she was gaslighting me to avoid taking responsibility for her selfishness. I told her that she had exactly 4 hours to move everything back or I would be calling the police to report a theft, and then calling our landlord to have her evicted for violating the lease. Jenna's smile vanished instantly and she started crying, accusing me of being heartless and trying to ruin her happiness just because I was jealous. I didn't buy the act for a single second. I stood my ground and reminded her that my rent payment was for a specific square footage that she had stolen. I watched as her boyfriend tried to step in and tell me to calm down, but I shut him down immediately by telling him he wasn't on the lease and had no standing to speak to me in my own house. The tension in the kitchen was explosive, but I didn't move an inch until Jenna realized that her tears weren't going to fix the mess she had made. They spent the rest of the night hauling my heavy furniture back into the master bedroom while I sat in the living room and watched. I didn't stay in that apartment much longer after that. I found a new place within the month and made sure to get my full deposit back before I left. Jenna tried to act like we were still friends on the day I moved out, but I told her that trust isn't something you can just move back into a room once it's been thrown out. I learned that people who truly value you will never make major decisions about your life without your input. I live alone now, and while the rent is higher, the peace of mind of knowing my home is actually mine is worth every penny. I am much more careful about who I share my space with, and I always ensure that my boundaries are written in stone from day one.